Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you. Wow, it's quite heartwarming to just see all the messages in the chat, and particularly to see where people are dialing in from. I just wanted to say Vicksburg, or is it Vicksburg, but I think it goes by the name of Vicksburg. I can just imagine the people in Free State. I think it's probably one of the coldest provinces that I've experienced. So lovely to have you here, but more also, in addition to that, the people from outside of our country, South Africa, Malawi, I've seen Namibians, I've seen people from Gaborone, etc. I want to say a hearty welcome. It's really, really great to have everyone dialing in and enjoying or investing the time with us for this afternoon. And as Claire has said, hopefully we will have a lovely session of gaining information, gaining some data and information that can help us with our decisions as well. And then I can see there's someone, is it Maureen from Kenya? I always have a very sort of connection with the Malawians because my son-in-law is a Malawian. So those people from Malawi, it's really great to see you. But I've also noticed there's quite a number of people that really take this thing about the digital age quite seriously. In fact, they don't have their names on there. I can just see they show up as numbers. So I don't know. It would be great if you can change your name so that we can, when we speak to you, actually just see the name as well. But that is just tongue in cheek that I'm making that comment. I heard that joke a couple of years ago, and that just stuck with me. You can imagine, if you look at my gray hair, that I am not a digital native. But we have grown and developed through this era of 4IR that we are experiencing as people. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kevin Henderson, and I will be your pilot for this afternoon as we are journeying through the next hour of sharing information, but also trying to answer some of the questions that you may have as some of our people in the meeting this afternoon. I would like for us to quickly look at the agenda because I know that time is a very expensive commodity. So just to help us to give you an idea of how we're going to navigate through this afternoon, I think just very soon I'm going to share some information around our program, the different overviews of the program that we have on offer, which we would refer to as our off-the-shelf kind of offerings. After that, we're going to have just sharing some information around the masterclass previews, and I'll say something about that as well. And then later on, I'll hand over to my channel director, Claire Kelly, who will talk to us about the remaining options for 2025, including how one can get some of those in-house offerings that we do have available for the rest of 2025. Can you believe it? We are in almost August. It's the last couple of days of July. So we are past halfway of the year. So it's now.
Kevin, you've just gone on mute.
Thank you. All of us will make the rest of the year count for our organizations and for ourselves as well. Once Claire has done her little part, we will hand over for some Q&A and we will entertain some of the questions. Now, before we get going, I thought it's important for us to maybe just share some housekeeping for this afternoon. And I think the reason why I was muted is simply because my colleagues have muted everyone since there's some background noise. So may I please ask that at this point in time, you take the trouble of just checking on your toolbar whether you are currently muted. That is just for the sake of the presentation, because it can be quite disturbing. Sometimes you're not even aware that you're unmuted and you are in a very serious conversation in the background, and then we have all these, all these state secrets that gets disclosed over there. So just to help us with that, we do ask that you please just try and keep your microphone for the remainder of the session on mute. except at that moment when you want to ask a question, and we've asked you to come or unmute yourself. In addition to that, as we progress through the afternoon, you'll probably have some questions to a specific issue that was mentioned or discussed. If you would be so kind to maybe just drop it into the chat, where my colleagues will keep an eye on to see if we can respond to it via the chat. For example, against someone whose microphone is not muted, and it is, there we go. Thank you so much. So if you can put your questions and your comments into the chat, and we will respond to that as well. We do understand that we only have this hour available, and so it might be that we don't get to all the questions, but please don't despair. Whatever we're not able to answer in the session, you can see that at the end of today, the recording of the session today will be made available via email, along with the applicable program brochures, as well as the application links as well. And so we will then also deal with some of the questions that we were not able to respond to. Kumo, yes, I've just mentioned that you will get a copy of the recording at the end of the session that will be mailed through to you. Great. Now that we have taken care of the household and housekeeping issues, maybe we can get going in terms of the conversation for this afternoon. I think it's also important maybe to start out with talking about our legacy as Stellenbosch Business School Executive Development. And for me, I think the first point I want to raise here is the point around the fact that at the business school, we have two divisions. The one division was responsible for the postgraduate programs. So where master programs, postgraduate diplomas, MPhils, MBAs, etc., are being offered. Our colleagues there are the academic side of what the business school is doing. But at the business school, we have another leg, which is the leg known as executive development. So our responsibility is to develop leadership and management short courses for working professionals and individuals and organizations like yourself. We, however, know that it's quite important for people to understand whether what we offer is credible, and we thought no better evidence of that but the fact that we are the proud holders of the Triple Crown accreditation. And as some of you may know, it's an accreditation which is held by about 1% of business schools worldwide. And it's awarded by, amongst other, the Association of MBAs, or also known as AMBER, the European Foundation for Management Development Quality Systems, or EQUIS, and the American Association to the Advanced Collegiate Schools of Business International, also known as AACSB. I often say, in a typical South African terminology, I guess that is proven evidence that we are not a Palooka Institute, but that we are actually a credible and a recognizable institute globally, and as one would say, across the world as well. So maybe it's time for us to talk about what do we offer in terms of our leadership pipeline, or the leadership pathway, as we also refer to it as well. First of all, we make use of and underpinned by the model by Drotter, Sharon, and Noel, which is the leadership pipeline, and we've developed sort of a pipeline of succession in terms of leadership. And our programs then run from managing self towards leading in society. So we have 4 comprehensive programs that sit within that space. And that helps individuals to, in terms of their career, develop themselves in terms of their intended or career progression as it may. So we start out those programs out as, first of all, the new managed development program, which focuses on the transition from self-management to team management. We then offer the management development program, which focuses on the transition from team management to cross-functional leadership. And then at the next level, we have the Senior Management Development Program, which focuses on the transition from operational management to strategic leadership as well. And then lastly, we have the Executive Development Program, which is actually the shift from strategic internal leadership to outward-focused influence within society as well. I did see that there was a question just to quickly pop up on my screen around the NQF level. So with regards to that, all our programs are aligned to NQF levels. In this instance, from NMDP to EDP, 5, 6, and 7 in that sequence. And the emphasis there is that, so it is not accredited on that level, but it is aligned with the complexity of those particular NQF levels. I think in line with that, and also maybe important to mention that all our programs are accredited by the Higher Education Quality Council because we're part of a university. And when people do one of our programs that has a requirement for competence, the individual will leave at successful completion with a certificate of competence. Having said that, I think let's share some more detail around each of these leadership programs in the leadership pathway. And I think let's start out with the New Managers Development Program. Our New Managers Development Program, as mentioned before, is a program that is aimed at helping individuals to transition from leading self to leading teams as such. So the program focus on helping individuals that want to do that transitioning from junior managerial roles who require essential self-mastery and functional managerial skills so that they can navigate at first-time management responsibilities with confidence. The program, like I've mentioned before, is aligned to NQF Level 5. The duration is for 3 months. And over that 3-month period, they will do one study block of 5 days each. The delivery mode for this is within the remote space. And what we mean by remote, and when I refer to that going forward, it simply means it's a typical live session within the virtual space. In other words, similar to what we're having now, that is the delivery mode in terms of what we mean by remote. So that when we speak about live via video conferencing, it means that we often use this Zoom platform, but at times we also use the Teams platform, MS Teams, to deliver the program as well. So what is it that this will help the candidate with? It will introduce them to basic principles of management and leadership, will combine for organizational effectiveness as well. So in terms of the requirements to get admitted into this program, there are no formal tertiary qualifications required, also no prior management experience required, but we do for all our programs at the bare minimum expect that our participants would have English language competence at about NQF level 4 or equivalent. And the only reason for that is our classes are facilitated in the medium of the English language. And if the person would not have that kind of competence, it might affect the progress of the person in terms of the pace at which conversations will happen in the classroom. Having said that, to provide you with a little bit further detail, over the 3 months, they will be equipped to describe the different touch points along the operational value chain. They will be equipped to recognize the changing environment of business and how to embrace digital transformation. They develop some issues and sense of self-awareness with regards to their own leadership, team leadership, and their own managerial competence, whilst also select from basic principles and practices to enhance decision-making. They will then also leave at the end of the 3 months with the ability to define team short-term and medium-term goals, as well as display effective communication techniques as well. I get the question quite often, what do they do for 3 months if the study block is only for 5 days? I think it's important to note that they cover the content, but also there are, because this is a program where they have to demonstrate some competence over the 3 months. They have 3 months to complete all the modules that's included in the program, as well as time to do the assessment that they need to complete in order to be certified as competent. Those outcomes that I've just described are achieved through the delivery of the following 5 modules. There's a module on personal mastery and leadership in practice, which they spend a day on. They spent another day on communication in the workplace, which is a very practical day around how to do presentations. They spend a day on decision-making and problem-solving. And then they also spend a day on the business environment, understanding from a 4IR perspective, the external environment, but also a little bit of a focus on the internal environment. And then also they're closing out the study block for the 5 days with a focus on how business works, where they look at the introductory concepts around ratios, but also understanding the importance of cash flow, etc., within a business. Since they have to be certified as competent, there are 2 assessments for individuals on this program. The first assessment is a summative assessment, which will be completed at the end of the first study block. After the block, they have about 3 weeks to a month to submit that assignment, which will be graded, and then at successful completion, with the success in the formative assessment, which is an in-class activity on communication in the workplace, they would then be certified as successful or as competent as well. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the new Managers Development Program. The next program is the Management Development Program. And this program are for middle managers, technical specialists, and supervisors who are responsible for managing teams, different functions, and the need to improve their functional and operational managerial skills and those competencies as well. This program is aligned to NQF level 6. It runs for a 6-month period. Again, I want to emphasize, register for that period. And over that 6-month period, there's a number of activities that they would have to complete. Most importantly are the 10 days of contact time, which means those are the 10 days that they have to attend classes. And those 10 days are typically spread over 2 weeks, which we call study blocks. And it is delivered either in the remote option, like I've mentioned earlier on, which is on this little platform, Zoom, live sort of session in the virtual space, or it can be offered in a blended option. And by blended, we mean that the one block could be in person and the other block could be within the remote space as well. The program therefore focus on best practices in management and leadership and reinforce managerial skills. It facilitates strategic and performance-related integration from effective team management and responses to the challenges. And then the program also encourages the moving beyond isolated roles so that participants would learn and understand how to navigate internal and external influences on their management approach, which means that they're becoming more collaborative in how they work as leaders and managers. As mentioned earlier on, with regard to admission requirements, no formal tertiary qualification is required, but it is quite difficult for participants to come onto the program if they haven't had any experience of mid-level management. And so the reason for that is our programs are designed to be a facilitative conversation, and it's very difficult to participate and contribute if you don't have the experiences that most of the other participants would have. So that's a recommendation, but like I've mentioned before, the same requirement with regards to English language competence for these programs as well. With regard to the outcomes, what will they be leaving with at the end of the day? They need to demonstrate their business acumen and entrepreneurial thinking. They also will discuss the importance of innovation in maintaining a competitive edge for any organization. They will translate how the basic operations of an economy works. They will estimate the impact of financial decisions on a function, explain how marketing and customer service can lead to improved customer experience and organizational growth, demonstrate some leadership competence through the understanding of the future fit capabilities, defend techniques which may be used to enhance diversity, inclusion, and employee engagement, as well as implement some sound people management practices as well. We aim then to achieve these outcomes through the facilitation of the following modules. They spend on some of these modules more than one day. For example, they spend 2 days on the essentials of managerial finance. They will spend a day on economics for managers. They'll spend a day and a half on marketing and customer service, 2 days on commercializing innovation. They'll spend 2 days on developing leadership competence, and they'll spend a day and a half on effective people management practices. Now, from this program onwards, in terms of that leadership capability development that I've referred to earlier on, the assessments are listed as follows. They will still do 2 individual assignments or assessments, of which one will be a formative assessment, which is something they do in class, and the other one on essentials of managerial finance will be a summative assignment. But also from this program onwards, the participants are divided into syndicate teams or groups in which they will then do what we call a group project known as the business-driven action learning project as well. And the purpose of that is that participants will be able to seek practical and sustainable solutions to a real business challenge, which is facilitated by a person we refer to as a learning process facilitator as well. In South Africa, we are quite aware that there's a number of our participants that never had the opportunity to pursue tertiary studies. And so we are aware that sometimes organizations are looking at the possibility of what could a program that they've done with us lead to. To that extent, we are happy to announce that we do have some arrangements with these 2 institutions on the slide. The first one is the University of Free State, and I can just imagine those Free Staters in the room will be very proud to hear that. And the other one is the University of Lincoln. So with the University of Free State, people at successful completion of our MDP, the Management Development Program, qualify for 22 out of 373 credits towards a bachelor degree of management and leadership. And the University of Lincoln in the UK, they would qualify to entry for year 2 on a foundational degree in operations management as well. Also, from this program onwards, participants also become members of the Stellenbosch Business School Alumni Association as well. Great. So that's the MDP. The SMDP is a program that is aimed at or suited to senior managers who require enhanced skills in agility, strategic insight, and design thinking so that they can navigate organizational change in the ever-changing business landscape. And not only sort of navigate
good afternoon.
In confidence as well. If I may ask just to mute there somewhat. Thank you. The program is aligned to NKF level 7. The duration again is over 6 months. This time the program runs over 15 days of contact time. And like I've mentioned with the previous one, those 15 days are then facilitated over 3 study blocks. The delivery modes will remain the same as I've mentioned before. Those are the options available in how it can be delivered, either remote or it can be delivered within a blended option as well. This program aims to transform challenges or help senior leaders to transform challenges into opportunities and become an agent of change for their team and organization. Also, this program will assist them in broadening their worldview and so that they can become and remain a resilient and agile leader, shift their thinking towards the future, and prepare them for current and future challenges as well. This program, like the other programs, have some recommendations. So we do realize that if you haven't worked or haven't had some experience at senior management level, it will be difficult to have the right conversation. So that's one of the recommendations rather than a requirement. We also recommend that the person must have some foundational knowledge of business and management, but also there's no formal qualification required. And then again, just the NQF level 4 that I have referred to earlier on as well. Over the 6 months, the participants will be equipped to explore and implement an integrated strategy within the business unit. They'll look at sustainability practices.
Kevin, you're unmuted again.
Can you hear me?
Now we can. Apologies.
Yeah. They will also formulate human capital strategies to lead a diversified workforce, and then solve business unit challenges, apply strategies for building strategic relationships, analyze current marketing trends, marketing strategy, and then challenging or deal with the challenges of disruptive technology on new and existing markets as well. We help them to achieve these outcomes and reach them by this list of modules that's mentioned there, which will be facilitated over those 15 days. From leadership in a complex world, managing their own brand, digital transformation, marketing for excellence, economics, and understanding markets, a contextual understanding of the trends, designing leading edge strategies, sustainable competitiveness, enhancing innovation and design thinking, building human capital, financial management, and then ultimately operational effectiveness and value chain analysis. Participants in this program, therefore, will have to complete summative assessments, one individual assignment on strategic management, and then one individual integrated assignment, which will sort of help them to achieve all these outcomes at the same time. Then they also do a formative assessment within the classroom situation on digital transformation. And as mentioned before, they will also do a business-driven action learning group project with the same objective, which is to seek practical and sustainable solutions to real business challenges out there. As mentioned before with the MDP, at successful completion, we also have a recognition of prior learning agreement with the University of Free State, as well as the University of Lincoln. And again, with Free State University towards the bachelor degree in management and leadership, and at Lincoln University in the UK towards a honors degree in leadership and management, or human resource management, or in logistics management, or in engineering management as well. Within those little slides, you can see 17 and 240 credits awarded for whichever program. And lastly, also then the membership of Stellenbosch Business School Alumni Association as well. Our fourth program is the Executive Development Program. And the Executive Development Program is a program that we regard as our flagship program. As mentioned early on before, it's a program that is at the top of our career progression. And with the focus of leading in society and not only leading within your organization. And maybe just a quick note to say on that the applications for 2026 program will open in October of 2025. But the program for this year, there's still some options available for in-house programs on the Executive Development Program as well. This program is aligned to NQF Level 8. The duration is 7 months, and there's 14 days of contact time in terms of class time, which is distributed over 3 study blocks. And the delivery mode for this is it's a blended option. In other words, some of the study blocks will be facilitated in person, usually at a venue in Cape Town. And the second block is usually facilitated remotely via the Zoom platform as well. This program is suited to executives and director or board level professionals who require enhanced cognitive agility, strategic foresight, and leadership skills to navigate global transformation. It will support the need for executives to appreciate the global perspective, enable them to apply cognitive and adaptive thinking to support their strategic leadership decisions, and then also equip them to deploy creative workforce strategies so that they can enhance workforce diversity and organizational performance. This program is the one program where we have quite distinct admission criteria. Even though there's no formal tertiary qualification required, we recommend that will assist the incumbent to navigate this program successfully. So participants in this program should ideally have a team of senior managers as direct reports. But more importantly, it is required that they have at least 2 years or more experience in serving at an executive or director level. They need to have some sound general knowledge and experience, functional and strategic management across various business units. Because of that, admission is strictly subject to a selection and an interview process. The way participants then apply for this, with completing the application, they need to submit a CV, and from there the admission process will start, or the selection process will start towards final admission as well. Over the course of the 7 months, participants will be equipped to achieve these learning outcomes. They will motivate responsible leadership, or the value of it. They will also look at how to embed frameworks for sustainability in their organization, ethical reasoning, and looking at the role of business in society. They will have to employ adaptive thinking, evaluate cognitive strategies to appraise systems and emergent futures. They will have to review and integrate their own organizational systems, processes, and competencies, whilst also appraising their local and global perspectives of the ecosystem in which they operate. They will assess the nature and importance of technological disruptions and determine the effectiveness of the organization's marketing strategy. And I think we would assume that finance is always but a part of a program like this. So they will also analyze complex financial statements to identify opportunities for growth, cost optimization, and risk management within their organization as well. For them to achieve those outcomes, they will complete these modules from strategic management, financial strategy, responsible leadership, global economic trends, future studies, managing reputational risk, strategic systemic foresight, technology and innovation, board dynamics, risk management, strategic marketing, sustainability as a strategic imperative, cyber risk and security, and then also ethics and governance. They have to achieve competence through the completion of individual assignments, 3 as listed there, 1 on responsible leadership, 1 focusing on understanding the world, and another one focusing on responsible strategic enablement. They also need to reflect on their leadership journey on the program, which is another individual reflective essay. And then they also do the group project that I've referred to on more than 1 occasion already. This program also allows participants at successful completion to have an avenue into recognition of prior learning. And to this extent, at successful completion of the EDP, participants would get 30 out of 120 credits towards a postgraduate diploma in business management and administration, or in development finance, or in project management at Stellenbosch Business School as well as in addition to that, have access or become members of the Business School Alumni Association. With regard to the Alumni Association, I've mentioned on more than 1 occasion since the MDP that members become, or successful applicants become members of the Alumni Association. And these are the advantages or the value that you get for being a member of this. There's a sense of belonging, global networking that you can access, lifelong learning. There's the aspect of alumni awards that you become eligible for, as well as access to research and careers. The Alumni Association actually, immediately you have a network of about 35,000 members across 16 different chapters as well. I'm almost at the end of my piece so that I can hand over to Claire, but I quickly want to talk to you about a program that we've just launched this year, which is a program that we regard as our leadership development program. We've observed that in the market out there are sometimes very, very competent middle and senior managers who are very technically proficient in what they're doing, but they require stronger leadership skills so that they can enhance their competencies for effectiveness and for impactful leadership. So this program we have brought into the market, and it's aligned to an NQF level 6. It's registered for the 3 months, and it is a program that runs over 5 days, in other words, 1 study block, and it will be delivered over the remote platform as well. One of the reasons why we call this program to the market is so that it will strengthen a participant's leadership capability, their mindsets, and their approaches, to recognize that leadership begins with self-mastery and follows a structured journey, but then also to help people to focus on future fitness and equip them to navigate complex team dynamics with confidence. No leadership or management experience required, but we say an NQF level 5 qualification or equivalent is useful, and at least then an NQF level 4 for English, the competency at English level as well. The outcomes for this program over the 3 months is they will use emotional intelligence principles, demonstrate comprehensive understanding of leadership theories, models, and frameworks, but more importantly, so that they can apply that in diverse organizational contexts, explain the role of ethical decision-making, critically analyze leadership case studies, and then develop a personal leadership development plan, integrating feedback, self-assessment, and organizational needs as well. They will achieve those outcomes over the 3 months by focusing on the following modules that will move from self-leadership towards leadership in a global context, focusing on ethical leadership, and then effective stakeholder communication, and ultimately end the program on how to lead high-performing teams as well. The assessments that they will be completing They will do a summative assessment, which is their individual leadership development plan that they will develop over that period. And then in terms of formative assessments, that's a number of quizzes they have to complete in class as well. And then lastly, project management is the other program that is currently running. So we don't have any more intakes for 2025, but the applications for 2026 will be available in October. However, should you wish to have this as an in-house program, we can still run this for you for your own organization as well. My colleagues often tell me this, that leaders can't look at project management more as an optional as an option to them. It is rather essential, but it isn't simply about delivering tasks. It's about leading people, aligning purpose, and turning vision into action. So the project management course runs over 3 months. The study blocks are divided into 10 two-hour sessions. So they run it on a Tuesday evening and a Saturday morning, and the delivery mode is also remotely. It's aligned to NKF level 8, and it's suited to new or experienced project managers as well. No prior project management training required. English competence at NKF level 4 is what we require, but mathematical competence is recommended, but it's not a requirement, just in terms of, if I could say tongue-in-cheek in South Africa, so your math literacy candidates would also be able to do this program as well. Over the 3 months, participants will be equipped to apply the following aspects, amongst other, to position a project's goal and objective, critically categorize project stakeholders, comprehensive project scoping, project develop a baseline for the project, and then apply critical thought to compare project's performance against the stated baseline as well. Then the modules, 5 of them, which will be delivered over that 10 two-hour sessions. It's an orientation to project management, formulation of the scope of a project, time management for projects, cost management, and then organizing for project management as well. There are 3 assessments they have to complete: an in-course individual assignment, which is a simulation. Then there's an in-course individual assignment, that's called Agile and Waterfall, focusing on specific outcomes there. And at the end of the program, after the completion of the class time, is a post-course individual assignment, which is a project plan that needs to be submitted. And you can see that's the weight of each of those. At successful completion of the project management program, participants would qualify for an RPL in either project management or in development finance, in that they will get 15 out of 120 credits towards those programs as well. For this year, we are launching quite a number of master classes. 2 in specifically is currently available. The one is on board governance for masterclass, which is an NKF level 8 program. Duration is 2 days, and it's available. It will be run on the 17th and the 18th of September. This program will also be remotely delivered. The learning outcomes is on the slide as is, but I think maybe the important thing to mention is this is something as a masterclass which will not have a certificate of competence, but rather a certificate of attendance, which means there's no assignment to be completed for that. However, because of that, attendance in terms of participation over the 2 days are of critical importance as well. In addition to that, we have the Women in Leadership Masterclass, which will be run on the 29th and the 30th of October this year. also run over 2 days at NCAF level 8 with the remote delivery as the option. Participants will achieve these outcomes as listed here, and the modules for this will focus on gender-based leadership, internalizing leadership, identity, communication, and networking, and then leading with courage as strategic leaders. Because of it being a certificate of attendance that will be awarded, there's no assignments in terms of that, but emphasizing the value of attending so that you can participate and gain the maximum benefit from this program as well. We have a whole portfolio of in-house masterclasses available. The slide that you are currently seeing, please contact us if you would like to have one of these as standalone intervention for your organization. But the emphasis is these are programs that are or masterclasses that are ready to be delivered: women in leadership, board governance, ethical leadership, digital transformation, risk management, project management, and finance for non-financial managers. At this point, let me hand over to Claire, who will take this conversation further. Claire, thanks. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Kevin, and a warm welcome again to everybody in the room, and thank you for staying on for my part. I'm just going to quickly take you through our final intakes for 2025. Up in August, we still have our Leadership Development for Managers program that's running in August. And then for September, our last cohort for the new Management Development program, as well as our Board Governance Masterclass. And then our last SMDP, which is our Senior Management Development program, which is in September. And then our last Management Development program in October. And then we end off the year with a very exciting Women in Leadership Masterclass, which is also in October. But should you look at any in-house opportunities, they are still available for 2025. And I will just briefly go through the following slides regards to our in-house. So our in-house solutions offer customizable organization-specific learning delivered in a very flexible and close format. And this is basically designed to drive the impact where it actually matters the most in the organization. Our approach goes beyond offering standard courses. We work collaboratively to shape the learning experiences, and we align with your organization's context, your goals, and definitely the people. So we offer access to a wide range of ready-made short courses, from comprehensive right up to specialized skills, exactly what Kevin has gone through. And our programs are designed with real workplace application in mind. The core course structure is maintained for the quality, but key elements can be obviously tailored to your organization's context. It obviously allows for direct alignment with your team's challenges as well as the strategic objectives. The delivery of our close group format is basically for a deeper contextual focus. We do have richer dialogue and internal application. We have stronger team connection and impact. We offer multiple delivery modes that suits the operational requirements, and that I'll go through a little bit later. But the in-house option supports the capability of building, succession planning, long-term career development, and our robust scoping process makes sure and it ensures actually seamless learning experiences that is relevant, well integrated, and demonstrates real workplace impact, has long-term value, and definitely return on learning investments. The in-house solutions is targeted to your people and your strategy. It's inclusive to your organization, customized to your goals, and flexible and definitely credible. So when partnering with us, you'll benefit from a customized learning experience designed around your context, like I said, your people, and the operational reality. So in our in-house options, we build on 3 key pillars, as on the screen right now: our contextual relevance. So we customize key course components to ensure the content is directly applicable to your industry environment, industry-specific discussion themes, case studies and examples from your organization, learning outcomes aligned to the strategic goals, customize assignment topics, both individual and group topics, So in all, it ensures immediate on-the-job application and engagement. Our second pillar is targeted enhancements, where we offer value-adding components to reinforce and extend learning beyond the classroom. And here we look at leadership coaching, group sessions, faculty-led workshops and webinars, masterclasses on critical and relevant topics, experimental and interactive learning immersions. And then these options basically deepen the impact and embed the learning experience on the programs. Our final pillar 3 is flexible delivery. We adapt our delivery format to your needs, to your team availability and the environment. So we have the in-person, which is basically your traditional face-to-face sessions, remote, which is live on via some video conferencing, like Kevin has mentioned, via Zoom or Teams. And then we have the blended option where we combine a bit of face-to-face as well as the remote option, and then online where you choose from ready-made modules. So you can choose what works for you and your teams with regards to location and even schedules. So our in-house programs are, as I said, customizable, impactful, and flexible, and ensuring the learning is not only relevant, but accessible and integrated into your business environment. All right, I'm going to hand back over to Kevin as we open up the room for some Q&A.
Thank you so much, Claire, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening. I have scanned the chat in the meantime while Claire was speaking, and I've noticed that my colleagues have responded to most of your questions. There was quite a number of questions regarding the EDP program in terms of who qualifies for that. So maybe I think just to clarify that for everyone. So the EDP, because there was a question around, I run my own business, would I qualify for the SMDP or the EDP? My advice is that you, if you are interested, to apply for the program, because of course, if you run your own business as an entrepreneur, it does mean that you do have an impact in society, and you do have to make certain decisions with regards to what is happening in society as well. We will then look at your CV, look at some of the important criteria, and if need be, we will set up an interview to help with that decision in terms of admission. I can safely say this year, for example, on the current EDP, there's at least one person that I can off the top think of who has been admitted to the EDP as an entrepreneur, but runs an organization that works quite internationally as well. And it's more about the issues of the complexity in which the person is operating at. And that's very difficult to get a sense of unless one has a conversation. It doesn't always come through within the CV that the person submits as well. But we take that quite seriously. So we ensure that we give everyone a fair chance of being admitted onto the program. So that's the one question. There was another question around, will I qualify for the EDP based on the fact that I have a PhD? The qualification is not that gets you admitted. It's rather the level at which you work. And the level at which you must work is executive level. So you can imagine if you're an entrepreneur, you're the executive of that organization. And hence that level is what we are looking at, and not necessarily the academic qualification as such. The reason for that is our program, the EDP, is more a program that focuses on helping executives to form networks and then also share with one another best practice from what they are currently doing as executives. And so from that point of view, the academic qualification is not the sort of the critical requirement, but rather the experience as a person working at the executive level as such. All right. Llewellyn, to answer your question, if you are working as an operations executive, you should be able to qualify. And it's not a requirement to have done the SMDP to qualify for the EDP. Like I've mentioned earlier on, yes, it's rather what level are you working at right now? What level of complexity are you dealing with, which which helps us to make that decision. Thanks, Llewellyn. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to highlight, you have registered for this program, or for today's session, and our team, our marketing team, will be in touch with you on the email address that you registered with to make sure that you receive the slides and the recording of today's session so that you can refer back to that. However, you will see at the end of the session, you will see some contact detail where you can contact Claire and our client relations person, Charmaine. Please take those email addresses so that you can contact them and they will be able to assist you. If you put that email address in here, they might not get to you because our team will work on the email that you've registered with to send out the recording and the slide PowerPoint deck as well. Great. Are there any other questions that I maybe have not gotten to? I've noticed that the team has really done a great job of answering some of the questions already, but I could see that those were some of the questions that was referring to the EDP that I just quickly wanted to touch on. Good. If you are in the room still and you have a question that you want to maybe just raise your hand for, you're welcome to do so before we start closing out for today's session. Paul, yes, the prices has been shared in the chat, but if you contact Charmaine, she will be more than able to send that to you at her earliest convenience, and I can guarantee you it will be within the 2 hours after she's received your email. Liesle.
Hi, Kevin. Thank you so much for the presentation. I picked up when you were presenting that when you spoke about the different programs that you guys offer, particularly when it comes to new managers going up to executive level, you had mentioned that it would be advisable if somebody was already in the position. So I just want to find out, would you suggest that somebody, so for instance, if I'm a new manager and I would actually like to step into middle management, is that not something that would benefit me a bit better than going into something I'm already in?
Yeah. So yes, the program is designed to help those who are already doing the work, but it doesn't mean that people who are interested in moving in there, the only thing, and from our side, the only thing that becomes an issue is whatever you're learning, where are you going to apply that? However, on all our programs, we have someone that we call a learning process facilitator, and that person will then partner with an individual like that to help them to look at where they can apply that. So ideally, that's best if they are already working as a manager, because then you can easily apply the learnings from the study blocks, because that, at the end of the day, that is what we regard as learning, the fact that you are changing what you're doing on a daily basis. And so from that perspective, that the onus would be on a participant like that to sort of put up the hand and partner with the learning process facilitator to ensure that they get maximum benefit out of the program.
Perfect.
Okay. I hope I've answered your question.
Thank you. You have. Thank you so much.
Then I saw, I think it was Shivani was asking about the MBA in healthcare and standard MBA options. Unfortunately, Shivani, like I've indicated earlier in the session at the beginning, so we are working in the business school, both of our degree programs and us, and we are from the Executive Development League. So we don't have, I almost want to say, fingertip knowledge about those issues. And I see my colleague Charmaine did indicate to you, please contact our other colleagues at info@Stellenbosch Business School so that you can get that kind of information as well. Apologies that I can't help in that regard, but our colleagues at the degree division, they will be able to assist you with that. There was a question like that earlier on about the PhD as well. The colleagues at our degree division will be able to assist you in that regard. Good. Mavis, yeah, your account needs to be settled before you start the program. So this is not an option, but there are options in which we can help people where they can maybe access a loan. I think it's through the Capitec.
Capitec, that's correct, yes.
Arrangement. So yeah, that there are some options. So please contact us so that we can share some more knowledge about that if you have people who are interested in that. Great. I'm checking my last man. Okay, so that's that. Cool.
I think we have covered most of it, Kev.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it has just gone at 1 minute after 2. And I want to say thank you so much for indulging us this afternoon. I would like to see it as a time that you've invested rather than the time that you have spent with us. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you so much for sort of listening to what we had to present. And we want to extend the invitation for you to contact our colleagues on these addresses, as you can see right there. Charmaine can be contacted at info@sbs.com or on that number. And Claire can be contacted at claire.sissing@sbsed.com or on the telephone number as seen. We look forward to getting contact from you and engaging with you with regard to how we can assist your organization, yourself, in being a partner in your development process. Thanks so much. Go well. And please be careful with the traffic wherever you are. It might be at home, but you know, this time of the day, there might be a lot of traffic in the passages. All of the best.
Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful afternoon.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.